Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Robbie.G podcast. That's right, it is Thursday, March 7th. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. And of course, here's some celebrities that share a birthday with you. Let's see. Jenna Fisher turns the age of 50 today. Laura Pepron from That 70s Show and Orange is the New Black is 44. Wanda Sykes turns 60. Brandon T. Jackson turns 40. And Andrew LePage turns 29. Also, a happy heavenly birthday to the dad from Home Alone, John Hurd. He would have celebrated his birthday today with everybody that has a birthday. Today we're going to have a fun show. We're going to talk some NFL news. We're going to talk about WrestleMania, which is coming up in a month, pretty much from now. It starts the 6th of April and the 7th of April. That's Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to talk some WrestleMania. We got the Bears' top 10 biggest draft busts of all time, since the draft is coming up in a month. And then we're going to talk about some Oscar previews and stuff like that. I also have real TV life couples that have dated on TV shows and in real life. So we're going to have some fun today, and of course I got my top 10 list coming up in a little while too. So let's get into it. Let's start out with NFL. Wow, free agency starts next week already. We are truly on the kickoff to the 2024-25 season. It's going to be a big one. I'm excited. I think everybody's excited to see where the Bears are going to go. Are they going to draft Caleb Williams or Drake May? Are they going to keep Justin Fields? What receiver are we going to pick up? Are we even going to pick up a receiver? A lot of it hinges next week on the NFL draft. A lot of this, honestly, is going to hinge on what we do with the draft. If we end up in free agency getting a wide receiver, maybe they don't go wide receiver with a rookie, or maybe they don't need a Marvin Harrison Jr. at that point. There's a lot of guys out there. I'm going to talk about that. The Chicago Bears did sign a player from the Buffalo Bills. Chicago Bears have picked up in a trade, and this is a few days ago, Ryan Bates. And they traded a 5th-round pick for him from the Buffalo Bills, which is actually funny. It's crazy because I guess originally, hang on. Yeah. So the Bears made that pick, and I was laughing because there was also rumors that one of the players, from a running back from the Raiders that they had, the Bears traded their pick for Khalil Mack to them, and he ended up becoming that draft pick, a running back, and I forgot his name now. He's a decent running back. I just forgot his name and didn't write it down, but he ended up being the pick that the Raiders ended up taking from the Chicago Bears. They used it for this running back, and now Chicago is interested in him being a free agent. So it's crazy. If he came to Chicago, the team that produced the draft pick that brought him to the Raiders, that's insane. There's a lot of big players that are out there on the free agent market this year that the Bears could go after. They've got Saquon Barkley is out there. I mean, there's a ton. There's a bird that is bugging me. It's right by my tree, but it's like, I'm outside. I always do my show in my garage outside because it's fun to be out in the outdoors in the wintertime. But yeah, this bird is really annoying me. If I had a BB gun right now, I'd probably go after it. So we're going to talk more free agency next week again. I just wanted to throw that out there that the Bears did bring in a player that could play center for them, which is a need that they really, really have, and they need to meet. And so if he could play center for the Bears and do a better job than what we had, that'll help either Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. Because at this point, it's not about whether or not it's Justin Fields. It's either going to be Justin, Caleb, it's going to be Drake May, it's going to be somebody, but they need a better offensive line for any quarterback they bring in. It doesn't matter who you get right now. If you had Aaron Rodgers, you'd have to have a better offensive line. If you had anybody, it would have to be a better offensive line. So, that's a need that we needed met, and the Bears did it. I'll have some more talk next week. It's going to be a lot of talk going on about free agency. In fact, let's see, when does free agency start? Because I usually record my shows on either Thursday or Friday and release it the day that I record it. So let's see, free agency, NFL start date. It actually starts Wednesday, March 13th. So by the time I record my show next week, which I'll probably wait till Friday, by then we'll already know a lot of your big signings. That's why I'm going to wait till Friday to do it, because I already talked about free agents that are out there. We did that a couple weeks ago, so go back a few weeks and you'll see I talked about free agency, and who's going to be out there and who the big targets are. Next Friday, by the time I do my show, we should have a pretty good understanding of who's out there, because there's been a lot of players that have been released out of contracts, because the thing is, the NFL has the salary cap. So a lot of times they have to release players. Even some of the decent players get released because great players don't, but sometimes they do because they have to be a cap casualty. So sometimes some of your good players get released, and then they go to other teams and they flourish because the team couldn't handle it. See, the good thing about the Bears the last 2 years of Ryan Poles is he knows how to manage the money. They've never had to release players necessarily for that. When people say, well, they just released Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. Yeah, it wasn't all because of money, though. They wanted more money to spend in free agency. They already had like $60 million at the point in time to spend. They wanted more. And those guys were dead weight. So there's no point in keeping them. Eddie Jackson did not have a good year last year. Cody Whitehair did not have a good year last year. I don't even know if Whitehair ever had a good year for us. So honestly, those are the guys you cut. It saves the most money. These were guys that Ryan Pace brought in that the Bears knew they did not need anymore. And when a new GM takes over, like Ryan Poles did a couple years ago, you want to make that team pretty much your own. Because if you're going to go down, you don't want to go down in a ship with old guys from the last regime. You want to make sure if you're going to go down, and you're going to go down with the players you picked to play for you. That's why if Justin Fields leaves, it's not necessarily only because he's not showing signs of improvement. He was a Ryan Pace guy. He was drafted and brought in by Ryan Pace, not by Poles. If Poles wants to go a completely different direction and bring in his own quarterback, that's his preference. And at this point, you're not giving up a Pro Bowl quarterback if he decides to get rid of Justin Fields. If Justin Fields does stay with Chicago, it's because Ryan Poles saw something in him this year. We don't know what Ryan Poles looks for in his quarterback. Maybe what he saw, he's like, I can build around this. But maybe he's saying, I want to start fresh with my quarterback, the guy that I bring in. So if I draft Caleb Williams, if I draft Drake May, if I go Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix, I'm the one that brought him in, not anybody else. If I go down on this hill, I'm going down with my men that I chose for my team. I traded for them. I signed them in free agency. I drafted them. It's my team now. I hired the coaching staff. That's how GMs look at it. They don't want... Now, if Fields was an all-pro quarterback and he was a Pro Bowler and took him to the playoffs and was winning lots of games, Poles wouldn't even think twice about keeping him. Even though he was part of the Pace regime, he would keep him. But has Justin improved enough to stay with the Bears? We're going to find out, because by next Wednesday, I can almost guarantee this, because this is what Ryan Poles said at one point during, I believe it was either right before the Combine last week. He said he wants to do right by Justin. He said, if I'm going to end up trading Justin and drafting a quarterback, I want him to be traded before free agency. so he can go to his new team and he can start getting acclimated to a new system right away. He does not hate Justin Fields. He's not like some of these douchebag fans that are out there right now that don't like Justin because of whatever reason. Honestly, Justin Fields has improved. And if you can't see that, then you're football blind. You have no idea what you're talking about. If you can't see the progression of Justin Fields from year 1 to 2 to 3, now, is that warranting keeping him another year? Maybe not. But that's up to Ryan Poles. That's not up to us as fans. As fans, you hope that we build the best team we can and run with it. Like they say, let Poles cook. Because that man has done way more better than he's done bad. You could say, well, he drafted this guy who was a bust, or he drafted this guy. It happens. Nobody knows when they draft somebody. Did Carolina think when they were horrible last year? Did they honestly think when they made that trade with the Bears for DJ Moore, who ended up being a savior for Justin Fields and the Bears? Did they think that DJ Moore was going to be the catcher that he was? Did they think that they would be giving up a number 1 draft pick to the Chicago Bears when they took Bryce Young? No. They thought Bryce Young was going to be another great number 1 quarterback. There's been a few. Then there's been some busts at number 1. I can't necessarily say that Bryce Young is a bust yet, but he didn't have a good rookie year. And he did not warrant that trade that they made. In all actuality, a team that makes a trade like Carolina did was hoping that they could get a quarterback that could get them like 7 to 8 wins. A rookie that could take them to 7 or 8 wins. And there are rookies who are ready to go to the NFL right away. CJ Stroud. He proved it. He was the number 1 draft pick, and guess what happened? Look where he is. He made it to the playoffs in his rookie year. Led that team. Was great. Was a great all-around player. And guess where he came from? Ohio State. So when people say Ohio State produces all bust quarterbacks, ask CJ Stroud if he thinks he's going to be a bust. Or was he a bust this year? CJ Stroud is one of those people who came into the league with 0 expectations on him and ended up being a superstar. Will that be Caleb Williams? Who knows? Generational, I don't really like that word necessarily. I think it kind of fits with the Marvin Harrison Jr. because he does come from a generation of players. But to say generational for Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to be generational. I think he'll be good or decent, and that's all the Bears need if they draft him. The Bears don't need a superstar quarterback. They need somebody serviceable. If you could build a good defense, a good run game, get a couple of great receivers like DJ Moore and then build around him like they did with, get a Marvin Harrison. Darnell Mooney turned down a 3-year extension for $30 million, so he's a free agent. He's gone by Butterfingers. I don't want him here. Because everybody says, oh, well, he had 1,000 yards the year before. He was the only option. We got Claypool literally like 9-10 games in. There was no way he was going to be a superstar, at least that year. And then he ended up being a bust for us anyway. And then where did he go? Miami, and where did he do there? He ended up getting like surgery and being out for the season. Thank the Lord Poles got rid of him. And yeah, Poles may have made a mistake, but see, there's where it is. People make mistakes. It doesn't matter. All I want to know is that the Bears are back. They're going to do what they're going to do. Poles is going to build a team the way he wants to do it. And last year we won 7 games with what we had. Can you imagine if we upgrade in a bunch of positions? Can you imagine getting another defensive end on the other side of Montez Sweat? The Bears are going to be legit next year. I don't care what anybody says, they're going to be a legit team. Alright, so next week we will talk more about free agency. By then we'll know. I'm going to do the show Friday, so by Friday we'll already be about a day and a half into free agency. So we'll see what goes on. It's going to be a big week next week, so we'll see what happens. Let's go into the Bears. Now, since we're talking about the draft next month, let's talk about the Bears and their draft busts. Their biggest bust of all time. Let's go into that. All right, let's go into this list now. Number 10 on the top 10 biggest Chicago Bears NFL draft busts of all time. Now, this is by BVM Sports. So, I mean, obviously, this is an opinion. You may think of some busts. Let me know in the comments in the section below on Spreaker and different areas. You can comment, or you can email me. The email address is in the show notes about what's going on with the show, so definitely check that out. But here we go. Number 10, Mitch Trubisky, quarterback out of North Carolina, 2017 number 2 overall pick. My thoughts on this, Trubisky, yes, he would fall under the bust category. I defended this guy, and I said when he leaves Chicago, he was going to be great. He ended up going to, Buffalo, and he ended up stinking there. Now he's back with Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills just signed him. So, yes, he is back with Buffalo now. And then he went to Pittsburgh. He was horrible there. So, yeah, I would concur he would be on that list of busts. So he comes in at number 10. Number 9, Gabe Carmi. Offensive tackle, Wisconsin, 2011, number 29 overall. Mostly due to injuries and poor performance, but injuries can turn you into a bust. You know, you can have this career where you're going to be amazing and you're going to be this great player, but if you start getting injured too much, it's going to mess up your whole career. And that's what happened to Gabe Carmi. Yeah, he was not the offensive tackle that the Bears thought he was going to be. Number 8 on the list, David Terrell. Oh my gosh. From the school that I love, wide receiver out of Michigan, 2001, number 8 overall pick. David Terrell, had high hopes for him. The Bears used the top 10 pick on Michigan standout. David Terrell, let's see, they were hoping he'd be a playmaker on the outside. It said over 4 years in Chicago, Terrell recorded just 128 receptions for 1,602 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's over 4 seasons, though. Think about that. Most good receivers get about 1,200-1,300 yards a year in 1 year. This dude did 1,604. That's not even a slot position. That's like a tight end. Even tight ends get more. Let's compare this to last year, Cole Kmet had like 761 yards as a tight end. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, no. This is definitely a bust. I hate to see anybody from Michigan being a bust because that's the school that I love. Hopefully J.J. McCarthy doesn't end up being a bust in the NFL. He was great in college, but he took him to a national championship and won it, but not always great when you get into the pros. We'll see. So number 7, Shea McClellan, defensive end, Boise State, 2012, number 19 overall. He was best known for breaking Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers' collarbone in 2013. So there you go. That's something. He put out Aaron Rodgers. But no, during his 4 years in Chicago, McClellan had 202 tackles, 17 for a loss, 7.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble in 52 games with 31 starts. He's a pass rusher. 7.5 sacks in 4 seasons, not going to cut it. You should have at least 8 to 10 a year as a pass rusher. And that's if you have another good pass rusher on the other side of you. Like when we had Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, yeah, you put the two together, one guy could have 8 or 9, while the other guy has like 13 or 14, that's fine. But to have 7.5 sacks in 4 years, yeah, not going to cut it as a defensive end, especially on a defensive-minded team like Chicago. Let's see, number 6, Stan Thomas, offensive tackle, Texas, 1991, number 22 overall. Yeah, he was an offensive tackle. He finished his Bears tenure in just 26 games with 7 starts. He didn't improve with the Oilers either, lasting just 2 seasons in Houston with 30 games played and 0 starts. Yeah, not good. Let's see, number 5, Michael Haynes, defensive end from Penn State, 2003, number 14 overall. Another pass rusher who failed to produce in Chicago. He was taken by the Bears with the number 14 overall pick in the 2003 draft. He finished his season with the his career with 79 total tackles, 10 for loss, 5.5 sacks, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and an interception in 43 games. So you got to think, 43 games, and he started 4 times. Yeah, not good. He never saw action after he left Chicago in 2005. Now with those numbers, oh boy, number 4, Curtis Enis. Everybody remembers this guy. Bust personified. Running back, Penn State, 1998, number 5 overall. He ended his career, let's see, he tore his ACL 9 games into his career. He was never the same running back after that injury. After a 900-yard sophomore season in 99, Ennis was moved to fullback for the 2000 season. He finished his career with the Bears with 1,497 yards and 6 total touchdowns in 36 games with 18 starts over 3 seasons. And again, running back, another position where if you're a star running back, a number 1, you should have at least 1,000 yards or more. So yeah, just shows. I mean, I take 900 yards over that. Here's where it's going to sting. The Bears chose Enis over fellow first-round picks Randy Moss, Alan Fanaga, and Fred Taylor. Think about that. We could add Randy Moss in Chicago. Yeah, that's terrible. Let's see. Number 3, Cade McNown, quarterback, UCLA, 1999. He went number 12. After taking Enis in the first round a year prior, Chicago tried to pair him with a top-flight quarterback in McNown. Unfortunately for the Bears, neither would work out. In 2 seasons in Chicago, McNown played in just 25 games with 15 starts, throwing for 3,111 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions, while going 3-12. McNown was traded during the 2001 preseason to the Miami Dolphins and never saw playing time in the NFL again. Think about this. It's crazy. In 3 seasons with the Bears, 3,111 yards. He was drafted number 12 overall. Most quarterbacks that start in the NFL should get 3,500 to 4,000 yards a game. Or a year. Not a game. A year. He did 3,111 in 3. It's crazy. Crazy to think about. Let's go on to number 2. Number 2, Kevin White, wide receiver. This one stings. West Virginia, 2015, number 7 overall. It says they drafted him at number 7. Due mostly to injuries, White's career never took off as he played in just 14 games with the 5 starts over 3 years in Chicago. White totaled 25 catches for 285 yards and no touchdowns. He wasn't re-signed in 2019, instead signed with Arizona Cardinals. He is still in the NFL today, but has never topped his 19-catch, 187-yard rookie season. Wow. He still, according to this, he still plays. I'll have to look him up and see where he is. And number 1, the number 1, okay? Biggest bust in Chicago history. Bob Fenimore, running back, Oklahoma State, 1947, number 1 overall pick. The number 1 pick in the draft. And he turned out to be a bust. It says, Fenimore already showed signs of deterioration, missing chunks of the 1946 season at Oklahoma State due to injuries, but the Bears selected him anyway. This proved to be a bad choice as he only played 1 season in his NFL career, rushing for 189 yards and 1 score, while catching passes for 219 yards and 2 more scores over 10 games with no starts. He finished his NFL career with more fumbles, 4, than touchdowns, 3, and never played in the league again following his 1947 rookie year. That's insane to think about. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, so those are the top 10 Bears busts of all time. Crazy to look at that list. Insane. We're going to talk with Elimination Chamber over 2 weeks ago. I actually guessed everything right on that. I figured I would. But now we are definitely on the full road to WrestleMania. There's no pay-per-view stops along the way. It is straight through to Mania. We are less than, 4 weeks away? Maybe 5 weeks, because it's like the 6th and 7th of April. Finally, they introduced the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2024, and it is the great Paul Heyman. I am so excited for Paul Heyman to get in there. He deserves it more than anybody else. He has been a staple of wrestling all the way since the 90s with ECW, and now through WWE. He has mentored and coached and been the advocate for guys in the WWE like Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cesaro when he was in WWE. I mean, the list goes on and on Paul Heyman, guys. Okay? He had a few guys that he, mentored out in ECW, guys like Taz, who's still in the business. He's an announcer for AEW. Mick Foley, who was there. Terry Funk. He's had some great wrestlers under his brand. And then when he came to WWE, he was able to do even more there with the talent they had there. But I'm telling you now, Paul Heyman, amazing. Amazing. Storylines going into WrestleMania, I'm enjoying them. Let's see what the WrestleMania match card so far looks like with the matches that we know that are going to take place. Let's see, WrestleMania card. But yeah, I mean, it's going to look like an amazing time. So I can't wait. But here, let's see the card so far. I don't want that. Hang on. That's 40 card predictions. No, we don't need that. Let's just look at the card that's already in front of us. And then I'll give my prediction on some other ones. Alright, so here we go. WrestleMania. Confirmed matches. Let's see. So we definitely know that some are already confirmed. We already know that we'll have Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes Night 2 to main event. We also know that we're going to have Io Sky and Bayley. We now know, because of Elimination Chamber, we're going to have Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch for the championship. And we know Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. Also, we know that we are definitely going to have The Rock and Roman taking on Cody and Seth. And that is going to most likely be night 1. Now, will WWE, what will they do with this? Will they have The Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth open night 1? Or close night 1? When will Seth defend his title against Drew McIntyre? Will that be a night 2 double? I would love to see a double title main event. And what they should do is this. I don't feel that Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth should end the show. I think they should end the show with Bayley and Io Sky. I think that the Rock one could be just like it was in WrestleMania 18 when Hogan took on The Rock and they didn't main event the night. The main event was still a title match and it came close to the end of the card. Do that. Or, I mean, what a banger to kick off the show. The return of The Rock wrestling. Again, have him kick the night off. I mean, to me, I think that would set the tone for WrestleMania. So why wouldn't you think about doing that? The Rock does not have to main event. He knows that. And he's been the non-main event in plenty of wrestling matches in his career. He knows he doesn't have to main event everything. So at this time, yeah, that's what I would do. Some matches that were teased through Elimination Chamber. AJ Styles and LA Knight was one of them. And then, of course, another one, Randy Orton and Logan Paul. I definitely think those matches are going to happen. Jimmy and Jey Uso They already said Gunther is going to be facing... They have like 6 guys who are going to face off on Monday Night Raw in a 6-pack challenge, and the winner of that match will go on to face Gunther at WrestleMania. Who knows? That title with Logan Paul and Randy Orton could turn into a multi-man match for the Intercontinental, or for the United States Championship in like a ladder. So could the Intercontinental title could become a ladder match? There's a lot of things that could happen between now and then. But we definitely are getting Jimmy and Jey Uso. There's definitely going to be that. So there's a lot of good matches on the WrestleMania card that I'm looking forward to. And I think everybody else is looking forward to it also. So let's go into... I'm going to do my top 10 now. I usually save it for the end of the show. But it does stick with wrestling, so let's go into this. My top 10 WWE pay-per-views. And we'll talk more about WrestleMania in the next few weeks, obviously. I just want to go over the card that was already there. I'll give predictions the week of for both once I see what night 1 and 2 matches are going to be. We already know, we obviously know that Cody and Roman are going to highlight night 2. It's going to be the main event of the night, so we already know that. But most of the matches aren't set in stone yet, and they're not set on days and times, so we'll see. But we'll talk more about that in the next few weeks once we really start to see the card come together. But I'll tell you now, Triple H's storytelling in this WrestleMania is getting people enthralled. I can't wait till SmackDown tomorrow night. It's going to be good. The Rock's going to be there again. It's nice to see The Rock coming out. Roman was there last week. Maybe he'll be there every week now until WrestleMania. Let's get this going. Let's get this like it used to be, a big fight feel for it. I'm excited for Orton and Logan Paul. I think that's going to be a great match if they do a one-on-one. I would say for Gunther's title, maybe do a ladder match. But I would do just Randy and Logan Paul. That would be awesome. You know, could you see Randy giving the rub to Logan Paul? For sure. Logan Paul's a great heel. The heat he gets is amazing. Judgment Day is definitely going to be in action at WrestleMania for their titles against somebody. Damian Priest is lurking around with the briefcase. He could cash in on anybody. He could cash in on Logan Paul. He could cash in on Seth or Drew. He could cash in on Gunther. I mean, the possibilities are endless. He's going to be like creeping around all WrestleMania night. So here's my top 10 WWE pay-per-views of all time. And this is the names of the pay-per-views. Number 10. Everybody remembers Cyber Sunday. That was a fun night. Everybody got to vote on what they wanted, and it was all done. Now, was it the way everybody wanted? Who knows? But the premise was you go on your computer and you vote on the matches and stipulations of the matches. And then the highest number would get that match. It was a cool concept. I think they should bring it back once in a while. Maybe do like a special on the WWE Network, a Cyber Sunday special. That'd be kind of cool. Number 9, Hell in a Cell. Always love Hell in a Cell, but I think it lost its luster after like the first 3 or 4 years on pay-per-view. It was cool when it was just a gimmick, where you would see it at a pay-per-view just randomly. First couple of years of Hell in a Cell pay-per-views were really great. Awesome matches. And then it just went down from there. It just kind of lost its luster, but it still made my top 10 because I did enjoy a lot of the Hell in a Cell matches that we had during the pay-per-views in the early days of it. The later days, it just wasn't as good no more. It was just a filler pay-per-view. Number 8, Backlash. Backlash always gives way to some great rivalries that happen in matches from WrestleMania, like some rematches and stuff. I'm not a fan of the WrestleMania Backlash thing. I think it's stupid. Just call it Backlash. You don't have to call it WrestleMania Backlash. Number 7, King of the Ring. Not the King of the Ring they do recently, the King of the Ring they used to do, where it was an entire pay-per-view and the King would be crowned at the end of the night, and it wasn't qualifying matches that went all the way to the semifinals during Raw. This was like an entire night. So you would have the qualifying matches to get to the King of the Ring leading up to it. But once you got to the bracket part of it, that's all on one pay-per-view. That was a cool concept. They need to bring that back again, too. They could do it for the Queen of the Ring, too. They could do both in one night. Have 8 men and 8 women. Pretty simple. And have, the matches. It'll be really cool. But it's up to the WWE. Number 6, In Your House. There was so many In Your Houses. Every pay-per-view that wasn't the Big Four was called In Your House something. It was cool. It was an awesome concept. I loved it. And the little house in the background on the thing, the house set was cool. It was a fun little pay-per-view. Every time you had it in your house, you knew it would be fun. They had the DX one. They had an Undertaker one. I think one of them was the Bad Blood one. It was cool. They were in your house, and then it would have a name. It was really cool. Well, that was a concept that I loved. Now, I think everybody knows where my top 5 are going, and maybe you'll agree or disagree with the order. Number 5, to me, Survivor Series. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, but now they do the War Games. That's cool. I love it. But it's just not my favorite. Like, I like it, but it's not my favorite. It's my top 5, but it's not my favorite one. Number 4, Money in the Bank. I always love Money in the Bank. I love Money in the Bank when they did it at WrestleMania, but I do like the pay-per-view concept of it, because you always now have 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, and then you fill the rest of the card with a title match or whatever. But yeah, I love Money in the Bank. That's my number 4. Number 3, SummerSlam. Nothing like an end of the summer party. I like how they're doing the outdoor arenas now, because it's summertime. I think the WWE really lost it. They could have did Bash at the Beach when they bought WCW out. You could have had like a cool concept. Like, I remember WCW days, Bash at the Beach, they would do it on a beach. Like, they literally set the ring up on a beach. That would be cool. Close down a beach, put a bunch of chairs out there. You're not going to sell like you do for everything else. But for one pay-per-view, you would have so much fun. The fans would love it. I think it would be cool. But SummerSlam in the outdoor arena, at least it's outside in August, when it's hot out and the fans are excited to be out there. It's a big stadium feel. I love that about it, and I'm excited for it. I wish it would come to Chicago and go to Soldier Field. That'd be cool, or Wrigley Field. It'd be cool to see it. I would probably buy the tickets to go to see it, because it'd just be cool to be there. Number 2, the Royal Rumble. The road kicks off to WrestleMania. It is one of my favorite nights of the year, just to see the men and women, 30 men, 30 women, one survival. It's cool. Sometimes I kind of wish they would do a double ring and have the women in one ring and the men in one ring, and just do it all at once, and maybe add 10 extra people to it. Have like a 40-man and 40-woman rumble, have 2 rings, and every time the buzzer rings, one man comes out, he gets out of the ring, one woman comes out. That'd be kind of cool concept too. But I love the Royal Rumble. And number 1, I mean, how could you not? WrestleMania. I've been to one. I went to WrestleMania 22 at the Allstate Arena. Great night. Never forget it. Amazing time. But yeah, no. WrestleMania, number 1. Now, a lot of people say, you didn't put Elimination Chamber on this list. It's not. This year was fun being in Perth, but honestly, I don't know. There's just something about Elimination Chamber. It would be my number 11. I think all these pay-per-views I've had more fun with. And the only reason I picked Hell in a Cell at number 9 is because there's been some classic Cell matches at the beginning when this first started. But yeah. So that's my list. And not everybody's going to agree with it. Some people are going to say, oh man, how could you not enjoy, I love Elimination Chamber, just not my number 1 favorite one. So yeah, we're done with the talk about sports. Let's go into some celeb news. Let's see, we're going to talk about real life couples. Now, this is going to be fun. Okay, so let's go into this really quick now. Alright, so I got this funny because all I was doing was reading an article on Brian Austin Green from 90210, talking about how he would get jealous when Tiffany Thiessen would kiss and have some sex scenes with like cast members on Beverly Hills 90210 during filming, and because they dated in real life for 3 years. and they even lived together and stuff. And he was talking about how he feels bad now because of how he acted back then. She was his girlfriend, but at the same time, she was an actress. There were love-making scenes. There was kissing scenes with other guys. They never really had that big of a relationship in the show. It was more or less she was with Dylan, and I think, Brandon too, maybe? Maybe with Steve. I don't remember if she was with Steve. It's been a long time since I watched all the 90210 episodes. But, I mean, I religiously watched it as a kid. That was, like, one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time when I was a kid. So it got me reading into the article, and they had at the bottom of it a list of real-life couples that dated because of a TV show that they dated on. So here's the list. I was like, let's talk about it. Let's see who made the list. What celebrities from TV shows have dated in real life, not only on the show, but in real life too. So here we go. And some of these will surprise you because my mouth dropped when I saw some of these too. Let's see. Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer. The one where fans had no idea their favorite Friends couple actually had feelings for each other. During the iconic NBC series HBO Max reunion special, Aniston and Schwimmer admitted they nursed crushes on each other during the first season. As Schwimmer explained, the first season I had a major crush on Jen. It was reciprocated, Aniston concurred. So why didn't Ross and Rachel's real-life counterparts ever officially get together? At some point we were both crushing hard on each other, but it was like two ships passing because one of us was always in a relationship, and we never crossed that boundary. We respected that, but we both had. And then Matt LeBlanc then interrupted saying, bullcrap, I'm kidding, going on to suggest that the co-stars maybe did show a little PDA on the set. And then finally Schwimmer admitted, I'm thinking, how did not everyone know we were crushing on each other? Let's see. Kaylee Kuko and Johnny Galecki from The Big Bang Theory. Stars dropped a big bomb in 2012 when it was reported they had dated for 2 years, with Kuko revealing every detail about their romance only after they split. That's crazy. Mark Paul Gosselaar and Lark Voorhees. So Zach Morris and Lisa Turtle dated in real life too. If you thought Saved by the Bell characters were romantically cliquish on screen, it was nothing compared to all of the relationship drama going on behind the scenes. All of us dated at one point or another. It was incestuous, Gosselaar told People in 2009. Sometimes the girls would gang up on the guys. Tiffany and Elizabeth would hate me, and then they'd hate Lark because Lark was talking to me, and Mario was supposed to side with someone. All the stuff we did in high school, like, how could you talk to him? They dated for the longest it says in real life couple that dated for the longest was Gosselaar and Voorhees, who were together for 3 years during the show's later run. Let's see. Mark Paul Gosselaar and Tiffany Thiessen. Yeah, Zach and Kelly dated in real life too, when he wasn't with Lisa. While playing one of TV's most beloved pairings, Zach and Kelly, the 90s TV's icons liked each other a lot. Ed Alonzo, a.k.a. Max from the Max, once dished to Entertainment Tonight. It was very cute. It was hand-holding and looking over. In an interview with People, Thiessen revealed the first time she drank alcohol, she was with Gosselaar, saying, Mark, Paul, and I got to go to Paris for a press tour. We ate crepes, and my first sip of alcohol was with him. It felt at times like we were Barbie and Ken, or perhaps Zach and Kelly. Alright, here's another one. Mark Paul Gosselaar and Elizabeth Berkley. He literally dated every girl on that show. It's insane. Zach Morris dated all three of Saved by the Bell's leading ladies, admitting during a 2019 appearance on Anna Faris' Unqualified podcast that he briefly wooed Berkley. You're in an environment, you know how it is, he explained. When you're working on a set and we were young, there's no one around. Really, I mean, you work and you live in a bubble. I also heard that Mark Paul Gosselaar dated the one that played Tori. So she wasn't really on long enough to be considered a big character, but she was there for a couple years. And I believe he also dated the one from King of Queens, Leah Remini, when she was on the show for those few episodes. I think they had like a brief thing too. It's insane. Holy crap, they were teenagers. It's insane to think about. Mario Lopez and Tiffany Thiessen. While Lopez's AC and Berkeley's Jesse were OTP on Saved by the Bell, Lopez revealed he romanced Thiessen in his memoir Just Between Us. He wrote that they went to the movies, went out to eat, hung out at parties, danced together, and eventually became an official couple. But Lopez admitted to being unfaithful, writing, "I thought that being loyal to Tiffany was the right thing to do, but I can't say I was capable at that age of following through on my noble intentions." That's insane. Brian Austin Green and Tori Spelling, just like in the show. Just how serious was the Beverly Hills 90210 co-stars Offset romance? It depends on who asks. Brian Austin Green, David and Donna, we were on camera together and we were off camera something. Spelling explained on the Women Atop podcast in 2020. Brian and I have different perspectives of what that was. There's the young girl version and the young boy version, so two different accounts. But yeah, so they dated. And then it says, during a test on 2015 Celebrity Lie Detector, Spilling admitted she was also in love with Green, while also revealing she once kissed Luke Perry and had a summer fling with Jason Priestley. Oh my lord! This is insane to think about. All these stars, like, dipping in the pool with each other. It's crazy. Here's another couple, Melissa Joan Hart and Ryan Reynolds. Long before he married Blake Lively, the Deadpool star made out with a 90s TV icon after they co-starred in the 96 TV movie Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's insane. Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini. And everybody knew about this one. After years of rumors about a possible off-screen romance, Clarkson confirmed that the performers did date, just not while competing against each other. "We didn't date during Idol, which everybody thought we were dating," she explained during a 2015 appearance on Watch What Happens Live. "We did date a little bit while filming their 2003 box office bomb From Justin to Kelly." Miley Cyrus and Lucas Till, while filming Hannah Montana the movie in 2009, Cyrus quietly dated her on-screen love interest. Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson, following their 2010 split from Zac Efron, Hudgens briefly dated her Journey to the Mysterious Island co-star. That's it. I'm sure there's more, but there's not on this list. But yeah, that's crazy. Because, when you watch these TV shows and you see their chemistry, you don't realize exactly what they're, that off-screen, maybe they really have feelings for each other. But sometimes you do, I guess. It happens. Especially when you're with somebody on a set for months or, all day long like that, every week. You start seeing each other all the time. Wrestlers, too, when they travel. In fact, I'm going to get a list together, maybe for next week or the week after, of WWE real life or wrestling couples of all over the world or, all over the place. And we'll see how many actual couples there are. So I'll do that in the next few weeks. Let's go into, we're going to talk some Oscars. We're going to end the show with some Oscar talk. It is this Sunday, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. I have the list of all the awards. There's not as many as you think. There's not as many as some of the other award shows that do music, TV, and movies. Oscars is just movies, and it's just like the top movies, the top billing movies. Not like your action movies. You don't really see Fast and Furious 10 in there or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so let's go over. First, I want to go over a list of who won the most Oscars. I found this list, and I want to go over it really quick. Alright, so here's a list of the most Oscar winners of all time in the Oscar Awards. Legendary actress Katharine Hepburn stands out from the crowd with 4 wins from 12 nominations. All her awards came in the Best Actress category. She won for Morning Glory in 1933, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner in 1967, The Lion in Winter 1968, and On Golden Pond in 1981. Hepburn collected the first and last of her 4 Oscars 48 years apart, famously skipping out on attending the ceremony multiple times. Who's closing in? 6 actors have picked up 3 Oscars for acting, 3 male and 3 female. Of those 6, 2 are no longer with us. Walter Brennan's picked up 3 wins in the Best Supporting category in just 4 years, from a total of 4 nominations. The films he won for were Come and Get It in 1936, Kentucky in 1938, and The Westerner in 1940. Unfortunately, we lost the brilliant Ingrid Bergman in 1982. She picked up the Best Actress prize for Gaslight in 1944 and Anastasia in 1956 from 7 nominations. In 1974, she claimed the Best Supporting Actress award for Murder on the Orient Express. Contenders who could still match or beat Hepburn's record are naturally household names. Jack Nicholson, sorry, not the golfer, the actor. Jack Nicholson has 3 wins from 12 nominations so far, although the rumor is that he called time on acting in 2018. His impressive career took 2 Best Actor awards for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975 and As Good as It Gets in 1997. His third was for the Best Supporting Actor statue for 1983's Terms of Endearment. Daniel Day-Lewis has 3 wins from 6 noms. Despite his frequent mini-retirements, Day-Lewis's 3 best awards came from My Left Foot in 1989, There Will Be Blood in 2007, and Lincoln in 2012. He retired after completing 2017's Phantom Thread, one of his Oscar nominations. Things are a little more competitive on the Best Actress side. Meryl Streep received an astounding 21 nominations and received the award on 3 occasions. She won for Best Actress Award for Sophie's Choice in 1982 and The Iron Lady in 2011. Before that, she also picked up the Best Supporting Actress prize for Kramer vs. Kramer in 1979. However, the big surprise is that Meryl Streep might not be first in line to match Katharine Hepburn's haul. She has stiff competition. Frances McDormand, who has already picked up 4 Oscars, although only 3 in the acting categories. Her most recent Academy Award was for Best Picture as a Producer. So I don't understand why that wouldn't count, though. Why does it have to be for actor or actress? Why couldn't it be for something else? The whole thing is your name is attached to the award. Her most recent Academy Award was for Best Picture as the producer of Normaland in 2020. For acting, she picked up 3 wins for 6 nominations. Best Actress prizes for Fargo in 96, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri in 2017, and Nomadland in 2020. So she was in the movie too. I don't understand why you wouldn't count that as 4. I don't, like, let's say Eminem won 2 more Oscars. He won one for Lose Yourself, so why wouldn't that count? I don't understand how they do that. Kind of weird. Then it says which actors have won 2 Oscars. After this top tier of Academy Award winners, the list of actors in the next tier is substantially longer. Here's the complete list of actors that have picked up 2 Oscars for acting in lead and supporting roles. Bette Davis won Best Actress for Dangerous and Jezebel. Spencer Tracy, Captain's Courageous and Boys Town. Marlon Brando, Waterfront and The Godfather. Jack Lemmon won Best Actor for Save the Tiger in 1973 and Best Supporting Actor for Mr. Roberts in 1995. My man, Denzel Washington, Best Actor in Training Day in 2001, Best Supporting Actor in Glory in 1989. Cate Blanchett, Best Actress in Blue Jasmine in 2013, and Best Supporting in The Avatar in 2004. Robert De Niro, my other boy, Best Actor for Raging Bull in 1980, and Best Supporting Actor for The Godfather Part 2 in 1974. Jane Fonda, Best Actress for Clute in 1971 and Coming Home in 1978. Dustin Hoffman, Best Actor for Kramer vs. Kramer in 1979 and Rain Man in 1988. Michael Caine, Best Supporting Actor for Hannah and Her Sisters in 1986 and The Cider House Rules in 1999. And then Tom Hanks, of course, Philadelphia in 1993, definitely deserved that, and Forrest Gump in 1994, so he won it back-to-back. Anthony Hopkins won for Best Actor in Silence of the Lambs in 1991, and The Father in 2020. Jessica Lange, Blue Sky in 1994, and Best Supporting Actress for Tootsie in 1982. Maggie Smith, Best Actress for The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie in 1969, and she won Supporting Actress in California Suite in 1978. Gary Cooper, Best Actor for Sergeant York in 1941 and High Noon in 1952. Olivia de Havilland, Best Actress to Each His Own in 1946 and The Heiress in 1949. Gene Hackman, the Best Actor for The French Connection in 1971, Best Supporting Actor for Unforgiven in 1992. Frederick March, Best Actor for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1931, and The Best Years of Our Lives in 1946. Sean Penn won for Mystic River in 2003 and Milk in 2008. Elizabeth Taylor won for Butterfield 8 in 1960 and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Jodie Foster Best Actress for The Accused in 98 and The Silence of the Lambs in 91. Anthony Quinn, Best Supporting Actor for Viva Zapata in 1952, Lust for Love in 1956. Glenda Jackson, Best Actress in Woman in Love in 1970 and A Touch of Class in 73. Shelley Winters, Best Supporting Actress for The Diary of Anne Frank in 1959 and A Patch of Blue in 1965. This is a long list, but you know what? These are all great actors. Renee Zellweger won for Judy in 2019 and Cold Mountain for Supporting Actress in 2003. Sally Field, Best Actress for Norma Ray in 1979 and Places in the Heart in 1984. Diane Wiest, Best Supporting Actress for Hannah and Her Sisters in 86 and Bullets Over Broadway in 94. Let's see. Kevin Spacey, Best Actor for American Beauty in 99 and Best Supporting Actor for The Usual Suspects in 95. Hilary Swank, Best Actress for Boys Don't Cry in 99 and $1 Million Baby in 2004. So yeah, those are the lists of people who have won 2, 3, or 4 awards in the Oscars. So that's an amazing list. Some of them may have a chance to move up eventually because some of them are done acting, some are retired. You know, obviously, some may come out of retirement and do another movie. Who knows? And win an Oscar. But this year, we're focusing on the 2024 Oscar Awards. And that's how we're going to end the show. Next week, I'll let you know who won all the awards. But here is the list. Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the 96th Academy Awards at the Dolby Theater at Ovation Hollywood Sunday, March 10th, 2024, honoring movies released in 2023. Here's the categories for actor in a leading role. The nominees are Bradley Cooper for Massaro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Actor in a supporting role. Nominees, my man, Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us for American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Bobby De Niro, baby, for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr., Mr. Iron Man himself for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, Mr. Ken, and Mark Ruffalo, one of my other favorite actors, for Poor Things. Man, I don't even know if I could even give a pick on that. I mean, I don't really do picks for award shows, but wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing category. I would have a hard time with that. Actress in a leading role. Nominees Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Massaro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. Good category. Actress in a supporting role nominees, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, American Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I'm very surprised that for Barbie, that she didn't get it for playing Barbie, that she didn't get nominated. Like, how does that even happen? Like, I don't understand it. Like, looking at Best Actress in a Leading Role, that's $1 billion movie. How can you snub somebody like that? And for Best Picture, well, we didn't even go into Best Picture yet. But I don't think the movie even got nominated. So let's go into, let's see. Animated feature film. Nominees The Boy and the Heron. Elemental. That was a good movie. Nimona. Robot Dreams. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I saw that. I'm hoping that one wins. It was pretty decent. Cinematography. The nominees are Edward Lackman for El Conda. Killers of the Flower Moon. Rodrigo Presto. Mastero, Matthew Labique. I'm probably damaging a lot of these names, but I'm saying them the best they look. Oppenheimer, Hoyt Van Hoytem, and Poor Things, Robbie Ryan. That's easy, Robbie Ryan. Costume design. Nominees are Jacqueline Duran for Barbie, Jacqueline West for Killers of the Flower Moon, Janty Yates and David Crossman for Napoleon, Ellen Morjernik for Oppenheimer, and Holly Waddington for Poor Things. Directing. Here's another one they got snubbed. How do you not have that as Best Director? Nominees: Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Treat, Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. Documentary feature film, Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. Documentary short film, The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nine and Wapu. Film editing nominees, Anatomy of a Fall, that's Lauren Schenzel, The Holdovers, Kevin Tent, Killers of the Flower Moon, Thelma Schoonmaker, Jennifer Lame for Oppenheimer, and Yorgos, I don't even know how to say the last name, I'll just say Mav, for Poor Things. International feature film nominees, Io Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow in Spain, The Teacher's Lounge in Germany, and The Zone of Interest, United Kingdom. Makeup and hairstyling, we've got, I'm not going to say all the names because there are a lot of names, but the nominees are from the movie Golda, Mastaro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. Musical original score, American Fiction by Laura Kirkman, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, John Williams, Killers of the Flower Moon, Robbie Robertson, that's an easy name, Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson, and Poor Things, Jerskin Fredericks. Music original score, The Fire Inside, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Sympathy, Wazati, A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What I Was Made For from Barbie. That's Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell, her brother. So that's pretty cool. I hope they win that one. Either that or possibly from the Barbie movie. I'm Just Ken. That was a pretty decent song from what I saw. And here we go. The last couple of ones. Oh, wait. That was more than that. That's a lot. There's a ton. I'm just going to, you know what? We're not going to go over everything because there's too many. You'll be watching the show if you want to watch it. But last one we'll go over, Best Picture. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie. Oh, it is up for Best Picture. Okay. Margot Robbie's name is attached to this. Let's see. So she is mentioned in that, so she'll go up. I don't know if she's snubbing it. She should after not being up for Best Actress. I think that's a crime. The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Mastaro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So those are some of the big awards from this year's Oscars. You can check out the Academy Awards this Sunday. Check your local listings for time and channel. But Jimmy Kimmel is hosting. He's funny. So we'll see who wins. I'll have the list of all the winners. I'll go through every award, even the ones that I didn't want to go through now. But at least with that, I only have to tell the winners. I don't have to say, like, every person that's up for it. So it's a little easier to do that. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for the show today. If you have any questions, comments, if you want to chime in on anything I talked about today, check out in the bottom section right here, the area with all the show notes. It has my email address. You can email me. You can follow me on all the socials. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter or X, whatever you call it nowadays. So I'm on all that. So you can follow me on all that. Or you can email me like the one hater that I had a few weeks ago. He stopped messaging me after a while, but he probably still listens. So, hi, hater. Yeah, so I'm going to take off for now. I'll see everybody next week. Stay safe out there. It's been pretty decent weather-wise in the Midwest. So if you're listening in the Midwest, enjoy the 50-degree weather, 45 to 50-degree weather. It could be worse. It could be 20 and snowing right now in March. So let's enjoy this March and let's get to an early spring. I'll see everybody next week. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't die. We'll be talking to you next week about NFL free agency. Probably more. We'll have some the Oscars review. We'll talk about all the winners, and that's for sure, and plus other topics. So I'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, and stay safe out there. Peace.